Welcome everyone. Welcome comic book fans. We are going to try and help some comic creators reach their crowdfunding goals today. Why? Because making comics is hard and getting people to buy your comics is even harder. But we're here to help.
We're here to help, and today Destiny will choose 3 indie comic campaigns for us to look at and review. By the end of the show, we will choose who to give our money to based off their pitch. Watch to the end. See if you agree with us, because in the end, there can be only one. Yay!
Yay! We're here. We're back. It's Friday. How's everybody doing out there? Leave a comment below. We've already got comments rolling in. Dead Cosmos was here at 9:30 waiting for us.
Wow. Dude. I mean, I know the sexy, but 10 at the earliest.
People are eager to hear your anime voice, apparently.
Oh, my God. I'm surprised I even have a voice. We did the Broadway Halloween parade last weekend, and thankfully I actually got through that without losing my voice for a change. They had like 47,000 people this year. Almost 50,000 people showed up for the Broadway Halloween parade.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
So, yes, the voice is intact.
Welcome, Carissa Grant is howdy. Good to see you here. Luke Stokes is here. Luke is partnering with a former student of mine, Caleb Addy, on a comic book that's currently on Kickstarter and currently on the Wheel of Destiny. So they might get selected today.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's going to be an exciting Friday. Man, yeah, it's been a good week. I've got pages rolling in from the colorist. Things are coming together to get issue 9 out to the backers. I've also been starting to put together a new art book. It's been a few years since I put together an art book, so we're putting together another one of those. I'm pretty excited about that. But
that's a lot. Damn. I mean, I found basketball shorts, so I'm wearing those. So, but for me, that's like short pants. I'm not gonna lie, and that's my biggest achievement thus far, and just doing a lot of Halloween stuff. That's bad.
Well, in case you guys don't know, my name is Matt Campbell. I've worked in film, animation, comics for about over 20 years now. I've been doing Kickstarter campaigns since about 2016. Learned a lot along the way, and I want to share that with you guys that are comic creators to help you not make the same mistakes that I made. Learn from my mistakes, and learn how to get your comic out in front of many people as possible. And Smurf, you know what? It's been a while since we've done this. I think Smurf needs to get his intro.
Some of the classic greatest hits.
The greatest hits. This greatest hits. Yes, soon we're going to put together an intro that'll just start the show that way. It'll be fun. All those great highlights from previous shows.
Me getting beamed in the dome by a giant Lego minifig up there.
Lego. Yeah.
That was classic. I am Smurf. I run and operate and own 5280 Geek. I am a co-founder of the Colorado Festival of Horror. I am the commander of the Colorado Ghostbusters. I have owned and operated comic book stores. I have been on radio as a voice personality. I have done marketing. I have done the corporate. I have done just about everything. I've done acting. I do voice acting. I do voiceovers. My degrees are in marketing and broadcast. So all the love when we talk about your campaign. Not here to throw shade. We're here to encourage, help, and grow.
Absolutely.
We're pillars of the community. God damn it. Ah!
We're trying. The two of us are over here like trying to hold up the community, the comic community. This is our 26th episode, bringing you the best indie comics to the market every single week. Last episode, we had a giveaway to give away this beautiful hardback edition of Mythica Darkness Rising. And was for those that commented on the YouTube page. So this is a little bit different than the live stream comments. But let's see, where is it at here? Do we want to see who won?
Well, yeah, I mean, unless you just want to like mail it to them out of the dark, and they'd be like, "Oh, hey, I won!"
Well, congratulations to Christoph YT for commenting, and you are the winner of the hardback edition of Mythic Darkness Rising. You need to message me either on YouTube or Facebook or any of the other means so we can get your package to you, get the emails or the mess. Yeah, the shipping address. Yeah, but that's what she said.
Get your package. Yeah, that's what she said.
So yes, Christoph White, be sure and reach out so you can get that reward to you. But this video is titled "What's Killing Your Indie Comic and How to Save It." In this video, we're going to dive deep into 3 indie comics that are chosen by destiny and discuss how to avoid costly mistakes, discuss what these campaigns are doing great, what they could do to improve, and most importantly, just, how to keep your comic seen and get more people to look at it. All right. So, shall we get into it? Shall we dive into it?
Do we want to dive into the wheel? Do we want to spin that wheel?
Do we want to get in? Well,
Pitter
first,
patter, let's get at her.
Let's see. First, let's see which. Making sure that's showing. I've got to go back and forth here. There we go.
Yes, we're missing super producer Ray. Thankfully, Emmy.
Yes, for the second week in a row, we don't have super producer Ray. So let's take a look at who's on the wheel this week. We have the Mythicals, 1, 2, 3, Cyanide Kisses, Like Father, Like Daughter, This Immortal Coil, Grim Fairy Tales, and Aruku Akumu. So let's see who's
Immortal Coil. Wasn't that already a title under another publisher back in the day? I swear I've heard that before.
Well, yeah, Immortal Coil is a book that's been on this show before, so it might be that it's the whole book. I'm not really sure. We're gonna find out. But now it's time.
Let's fucking go.
There can be only one Highlander type situation. Behold, my wheel of destiny.
Pitter patter, let's get at her.
Time to spin the wheel.
Pitter patter. Let's get at
her.
All right. First up on the Wheel of Destiny, who's going to be on the show? Looks like it's going to be Like Father, Like Daughter, the 5 Stages of Grief. All right. Number 2. Da-da-da-da. Looks like Grim Scary Tales, New Nightmares. Congratulations, Grim Scary Tales. And that brings us to our last and final entry for this week's show. Nice. All right. Congratulations, Aruku Akumu. Well, this is the like I said, the comic that my former student is working on, so I'm excited to check it out. All right, I'll close that up for a second. Get those names. Oh, that's
I'm
close
writing
my
it down. I'm doing my job. I'm a
doing your job. Good
professional.
job.
Doing my job.
Right on, right on.
Oh.
What? Well, Emmy was on it. I just happened to close my Facebook tab, so it wasn't open immediately. But I got it here. First up, like father, like daughter. We're gonna open this one up. Make sure I can see that over here. All right. Why are you not sure?
I just got a bundle of energy. Pay me no mind.
All right. So the first step, like father, like daughter, the 5 stages of grief. The world's only superhero is dead. Can his teen daughter fill his shoes? Part 1, denial. So,
Oh, cool.
what does that tell you so far? What do you get from that one sentence hook?
That has my attention. We have motivation. We have what's the story about, and it kind of gives me like foresight of what to expect because of all the different stages of grieving. Are they going to examine each one, seen through the eyes of this teen who's now lost her dad? Forget the superhero side, which is an entirely different bag of bad, but you get this whole, to her that was dad, superhero or not. And I like that this kind of ties in with like Superman and Lois. They're kind of examining the same thing. There's Clark and then there's Superman. And I like this. This has my attention.
Yeah. One of the things I like about it is it says it's, it tells us it's the 5 stages of grief. And then it tells us this is part 1, denial. So we kind of know, like you said, what's coming. And we have a little bit about, what the premise is. Can his daughter fill his shoes of a superhero? So looking at their goals, they're at let's see, I have a lofty goal of $8,000, but they're well on their way. It's 6,375, so that's like 3/4 of the way there. 226 backers, that's fantastic.
Wow.
But 27 days to go, so I'm pretty confident they're going to hit their goal. They've already got the Project We Love tag on Kickstarter, which was always helpful. So there doesn't seem to be a video with this one.
Okay.
At least not up at the top.
I think that's a missed opportunity, but okay, I get it.
I do too. Like I said, it's something that usually people will click on if it's there. They may not watch the whole thing depending on how well made the video is, but it does give the opportunity to set the tone. We like those videos here on this show. So let's see. Right away, though, they're doing something really great with setting up story as being the very first thing that we see. So let's see if it tells us up. It says, a father with superpowers left his wife and daughter to become invulnerable, the world's only superhero. 10 years later, his daughter discovers that she has inherited the very superpowers that made her father leave her family. But invulnerable wasn't the only person keeping secrets. Casey's mom has been a villain this whole entire time as a lifelong KGB agent.
Dun dun dun!
Look at the shock on his face.
What?
What?
Controversy right out of the gate.
Yeah, right out of the gate. We have some. We know what the story is about. We have some conflict. We have some intrigue. There's lots of stuff unfolding right away. Let's see. Frederick is joining us and says the biggest. Oops, I was trying to show it and jumped. The biggest backers on FMC don't have videos. It doesn't seem to be a requirement, though it does help to promote on YouTube. I do agree that the keyword there are the biggest backers. A lot of the biggest backers that you see already have a gigantic fan base. So if you are a small new creator and nobody knows who you are, it's a valuable tool because nobody knows who you are yet. So it's a good opportunity to sort of set the tone, get people interested. But yeah, when you already have a large following on a social media platform, and you can bring them in, you may not need it. You're absolutely right. But yes, John says that spiked the twist. Absolutely.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected that, actually. I didn't even think about that when the pitch was in there. Like, what about my mom? Didn't even enter. My mind was focused on her, and to throw that out there is just it's a coup de grace. I love it.
Now, here's the thing. It was great for like getting our attention. I mean, your
Yes.
jaw dropped, but at the same time, I think what John's getting to is that like we lost a big spoiler kind of thing, right out of the gate.
Maybe
But
not.
maybe.
I mean, this kind of plays into, I think, defining, the character. What are the stakes? And I always do kind of like being on the inside in the know, because obviously maybe she doesn't know that her mom's a villain.
Mhm.
So, being part of it, and then you running through the steps in your head of like, oh, is she the one that killed her father? So there's like, you start adding to the story already in your head before you've even read it. So you're waiting to see how this unfolds and see if you're right. So I think them unveiling it is better than it being revealed in the comic.
Yeah, I do feel like, especially in the sense of like, we don't have a video, so getting people hooked right away and giving them a reason to want to be intrigued is a really, really great thing.
Yep.
We've talked on this show before. There's two types of like people that really grab comics. There's the people who just love the art and buy it for the art and don't really even care if it's a good story or not. And then there's the people who like want to have some meat and potatoes. They want to have an intriguing story. And so this is definitely hooking those people. Going on here a little bit, it says the KGB have killed Invulnerable. And unlike your standard superhero comic, he isn't coming back. Casey has a lot of emotional baggage as she takes over her father's mantle with blood on her hands. Is she more like her villainous mother or superhero father? Can she carve her own name within her father's long casting shadow? All right, so pretty intriguing stuff.
Yep.
Then we've got some preview stuff here. Let's see if we can make this a little bit bigger. Let's see. Let's go full screen, maybe. There we go. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit, even more so. Whoops. I'll be on the right tab.
I like the artwork. If story really well, I think what we're.
Uh-oh. Smurf's cutting out.
That's not good.
There he is. Just for a second.
Okay.
So yeah, this artwork looks clean, looks really professional looking. I like the color schemes going on. Nice colorist.
Yep.
Lots of lettering effects. Look over here on the right. We've got 16 created, 429 back. That tells you these people are comic fans through and through.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always good. So yeah, nice looking book.
I mean, the only thing. Okay, so have we hit stretch goals? I mean, do they have anything enticing? Because this is the first issue, right?
I believe so. Yes, it is. So they do have a couple of variant covers. We've got cover B. So I don't know what that one is, but this is cover B. Then we've got cover C. So they got some variant covers. Here's another cover. I don't think that they have their stretch goals shown yet. They might, but
I mean, the only two things that I've really got, because I mean they're well on their way. I do fully expect them to hit goal by adding a lower tier digital copy, because if this is issue 1, you want to get the word out. And I think that's probably more paramount to expanding your fan base and to spreading the story. So getting backers in addition to getting the issue in their hands. I think offering a lower tier digital copy would be a good addition, especially at this stage with 27 days left. I would even do it towards...
Dude. Real quick. They do have a digital copy here.
Oh,
It's
cool.
5 Stages of Grief, #1 digital for $5, and
Perfect.
that's where 80 of their backers are coming from.
Perfect.
So that's a big old chunk. And then we have the physical copy, and so yeah, having those digital tiers definitely will bring in a lot more backers. So they do have a backer goal of like 300 backers. So having those lower digital tiers would definitely help get to those goals.
Well,
And then the
that's
other,
perfect.
yeah, and then they've got the physical copy at a nice low amount of $10, 22-page comic. I don't know how much they're charging for shipping, but that's a nice, comfortable price. And then you've got some of these other things that I think include some of their other books, because they do have, it looks like they have several books that they've produced. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you also want to have some really high tiers. I'm trying to see how far.
Stuff for your whales. I mean, you got the enthusiastic collectors and the guys that want to be there at the ground floor first. Absolutely.
So these are early birds. This is early bird. Usually those are put down at the bottom. Okay, here we go. So this is where their upper tier stops. This is at $250, a cameo in the upcoming issue, which is a pretty cool tier. You can get to be in the comic. And then above that, there's one called the Super Box for $200 that has a bunch of different stuff. I feel like it's really important to have those high level tiers, because there are people with disposable income that want to get that rare stuff, especially original art. And one or two of those can like get you up into the goal range really, really fast. So if you're creating your comic, make sure to have some of those high tiers and some of those really low digital tiers. But all in all, I think this is a nicely put together campaign. It looks professional. I would have liked to see a video, but it's doing all right without it.
I mean, at the video stage, so I came up while we're scrolling through this. If you could still do a video, and I think if you did some of the quicker clips of the scenes and did a voiceover of her emotions, of where she is at currently in her emotional stage, I think that would be cool, because you could have the voiceover reflect each stage as your campaign grows. So right now we're in denial. So then, she can just be like completely why and all of this. And I think it would add a little bit more of emotion and impact to the character, to the story. So that's the only thing I can really say. And then maybe at like $15, get one of the variant covers, a digital version of one of the variant covers, which I think would be kind of a nice little plus for $15. It's only an additional $5 from the 10. So I think that would also help push you a little bit further to just kind of, because you said there's 2 different variant covers on this.
There's at least 2.
Yeah. So, I mean, for $15, you get the comic and one of the variant covers digitally, so that they can have the artwork at least.
Right.
So I think that might push a little bit quicker towards your goal. And it's not that expensive, and it's no cost to you.
Right. I mean, what's no cost? Making the video?
No, I mean, doing the digital cover. The video itself, yeah, that might be a little bit more difficult, but
yeah.
You got
I mean, they do have 227 backers, which is a great number. But I think a lot of that strength, a lot of those numbers are coming from the fact that they have had multiple campaigns for other books in the past. So the videos, I feel like, are more about appealing to the new audience, people who have no idea what it is. Whereas your return backers are be like, yeah, I know this, I'm all in. But all right, so let's take a look at the next one. That was a pretty good one. Let's see, let's jump over here to share this tab instead. So TBH Comics presents Grim Scary Tales. Interesting stuff. Dare you delve back into Grim Scary Tales? 32 pages of fleshing rending terror. Fleshing rending?
I think flesh rendering is what they meant to say.
I think that's true.
Just a hunch.
Hopefully, they have 14 days to go. If that is a typo and they're hearing it, maybe they can go fix that. So this is in, I think it's in Canadian dollars.
Uh-oh.
Or no, maybe it's in pounds.
I'm off at the conversion of Canadians.
Actually, it's in pounds, I think. But they have a $648 goal. They're almost there with 20 backers. So, we've had two very different goals. I want to talk about goal setting for a second. Setting your goal can be tricky because, like, if you're a writer, for instance, you got to pay your artist, you got to pay your colorist, you got to pay your letters. So you need, on the average, a comic takes like $4,000 to $5,000 to make. If you didn't know that, now you do.
There's the magic number,
right? So, but if you're a relatively new creator, you haven't been on Kickstarter before, and you go and you set a goal for $5,000 because that's what you need, that's going to be a tough sell because you may not have the backing to support that, especially if you're just like brand new. So, a lot of people go the other end of the spectrum and they'll set their goal really low just to make sure that they hit their goal because they're afraid that if they don't hit their goal, they don't get anything. So what's the downside of that? Well, in some cases, that's going to mean that you're sort of lowering the expectations or lowering the value of your campaign. When someone sees a goal of, say $500, they think to themselves, can't you ask an uncle for $500? Like, why do you really need that? Are you just trying to get money? Right. Doesn't have that legitimacy to it, but you can hit goal fast. Some people don't care about that, but some people that is an initial thought. Right. So on the other end of the spectrum, you set your goal way too high and you don't hit it. So for me, I've been setting my goal, right about in the middle ground, somewhere between like $2,500 to $3,000. It's, got that legitimacy that says, hey, I need this money to pay this team. It's a legitimate thing. And what I've also found is if you have a really low goal of, say, $500, it's really difficult to get it pushed up into the stretch goal stratosphere of like $8,000, $9,000, $10,000, right? Because people are like, I don't know, you're going from way down to bottom, trying to get all the way to the top. It does happen, but when I set my goal, generally, like I said, around 3,000 or 3,500, I'm still able to get it and push up into the 8, 9, 10, even at one point $12,000 range to get, those high level goals because there's more of a legitimacy. So setting your goal is always a tough decision sometimes. But let's see again with this video, this campaign, no video. But we'll see what else we got going on here to tell us. Maybe there's one down below. They jump in. It says, "Welcome to Grim Scary Tales New Nightmares, a spine-chilling horror comic. Are you ready to return to the world of blood-curdling, fear-inducing tales? Grim Scary Tales New Nightmares is the brand new horror comic from TBH Comics that brings together a collection of terrifying stories designed to keep you up at night. Each tale delves into the darkest corners of fear, from haunted houses and creepy folklore to spine-tingling urban legends and supernatural creatures that will chill you to the bone. Created by a team of horror comic artists and writers who live and breathe the genre." All right. So we've got Dan Butcher, Damian Edwardson, Kieran Squires, a couple of other people, right? So we've got this one here says like a glimpse at the first one called The Unimaginable. Got some interesting, artwork going on, and looks like under each one of these, there is a little excerpt. So I'll read this first one, and then I'll just kind of scroll through the others. It says, Dangerface is hired for a routine job, but what he finds inside is an eerie hideout is far more sinister than he anticipated. As the tension builds, he's forced into a brutal confrontation with terrifying forces lurking in the shadows. Ambushed by monsters and mayhem, the job takes a darker turn than expected. So there we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different stories at least in here.
Okay.
We've got a couple different covers, a sketch cover, some add-ons, and we're done. All right. Over here on the rewards section, we do have a digital tier, which has brought in some people there, and then we get cover A, cover B, cover C. So and that's it. So this is where this stops at $33 is the highest tier. So I think that's
it's not unreasonable. I mean, that's it's obtainable. It's easy, I guess. I don't know.
Well, what I'm saying is I think that's a missed opportunity. There's like no $100 tier or $500 tier, right? Something that's going to say, hey, for this thing, you're going to get all this stuff. Plus you're going to get, an opportunity to be on a show, or you're going to get something custom drawn, or you're going to be a character in the book. There's just opportunities here for somebody to get some, really push you. I mean, with one good tier, you could fund this entire campaign, with a goal of only like $500-$600.
Well, and I know Matt and I have discussed this off the thing, because putting his own campaigns together can be tricky, especially when it comes to content. And I think laying out the tiers is important. So you may be limited, but if you go about it cleverly and come up with something that is unique to the book itself, I think that you're right, Matt. This is a missed opportunity. Capping off at $30, like I said, is great. But I'm like, just $30? Like, okay, you guys got nothing else left in the tank? I mean, even just like... And coming from the horror side, where I think the missed opportunity is like a horror movie style print, all right, and have everybody that's part of the creative team signing it. And having that is like one of the big ones. To do like an old school kind of like Abbott and Costello meets, Frankenstein style movie poster with all of the art, the different collages of the characters and all of that, and everybody sign it. That would be, I think, an amazing, amazing tier, because you have all these people that are part of this. And I think that would blow the expectations out of the water. Because, I mean, for $50, I mean, that covers damn near all of it for just the production costs and the print alone. So, like you said, I think it's a missed opportunity, and I'm curious. I'd look at it, but I don't know if I'd back it.
Well, there you go, TBH Comics. There's some great advice for you to get your tier up a little bit higher. Use Smurf's examples there. John Westhoff says there's already a grim scary tales. So John, do you think that this is still the creator? Because when we scroll down, there's this one. The
one he's talking about has 2 M's. This has 1. The one John is talking about would be copyright infringement. So they purposely have just 1 M versus the Grimm brothers. So I know exactly what John's talking about.
But yeah, that's Grimm fairy tales, isn't it?
No, yes, but I think it all falls under the Grimm copyright because of how the spelling is. So I think that's why this one only has 1 M.
Okay. Well, I do feel like I've seen these little title up here before. This looks familiar, so it might be the same creator. But you're absolutely right. It might just be familiarity from the Grimm.
The Grimm. And I think even looking at like some of the cover designs and all that, it does look like a homage to, I don't want to say Swipe, but it does look like a homage to the Eerie and the EC and the Grimm stories. I mean, even that one with the skeleton kind of almost looks like Wrightson. Definitely the one to the left of that looks a lot of Wrightson. So again, I like it. I'd look through it, but again, I don't know if I'd back it.
All right. Well, that's going to bring us to our last one then. So we've got some drastic differences in those first two. We had one with a really high goal, one with a really low goal. One is a horror book that you're still not completely all in on. So let's see what our final one brings to us.
Aruku
Akumu.
Aruku, yes. Aku. Sorry, I've been rewatching, like Samurai Jack and Tartakovsky is just amazing.
Oh my gosh, yes. I actually just watched the Hotel Transylvania and didn't realize that he directed those.
Yeah, he did, and it's actually really, yeah.
All right. So again, this is one that I've been eager to see. This is a former student of mine doing the art on here, and Caleb actually has some pages in Mythica issue 7, like a little additional backstory in the back of issue 7. So, and he has been all over. Actually, both Caleb and Luke have been all over the country this summer, going to conventions, promoting this campaign before it even hit Kickstarter. So really trying to build up the interest in it. Now, one of the things that I think they did a great job. They were on shows, they were at conventions, but one of the things that I know for a fact on Caleb's end is that he was just sort of getting onto the social media scene within like the last year. Like when he worked on my book, he didn't have any social media following really yet at all. And so that was only like a year or two ago. And so they've had, they're just getting started, I guess is what I'm saying, with their social media and getting people following. So I'm hoping to see the numbers of backers do nothing but continue to rise. And if they keep going out to campaigns and shows as hard as they pushed this summer and keep doing that, I think they're going to end up with a huge, huge following. But first, let's see what this thing is all about. It says, enter the nightmare as a possessed samurai battles demons, revenge, and damnation in a dark fantasy set in early feudal Japan.
Ooh.
All right. So got some historical. I can relate to this because Mythica's got some dark fantasy history kind of stuff going on as well. They had a $2,500 goal, that nice mid-ground goal that we talked about earlier, and they're already crushing it at $5,330, double their goal. So I'll be sure to scroll through and check out the tiers because they only have 57 backers, which tells me they gotta have some high-level tiers in there to get this kind of stuff. So let's see what the video tells us. They got a video. Yay!
Yay, something for us to do. I
right,
know, we just look like a couple of puppets up here that
In the shadows of feudal Japan, a cursed samurai fights for his soul, bound by a dark curse. He faces ancient evils, haunted by secrets that blur the line between man and monster. His honor clashes with horror. Redemption is the only escape, but with each battle, the nightmare grows stronger. We invite you to join this journey. Experience the supernatural tale of vengeance and survival. The nightmare begins now. Will you face it?
Well, what'd you think?
I like that. Even kind of had like the accent going and just like the whole like ooh.
Yeah, I thought they crushed it on the audio, on the sound.
Yes,
So
that is
great
well
job, you guys.
done. Holy crap.
Yeah, the audio, the voiceover artist, whoever did that, really got that vibe, right, of like a little bit of Japanese feeling. It wasn't quite Japanese, but then also like the horror feel, kind of all crossed into one. Some great sound effects with the evil laughter in the background, and some cool eerie sound effects.
Yeah.
That just set the tone really well, and that's honestly like one of the very first things a video can do for you that you can't quite always get out of just describing with words in down below. It's just setting that tone, setting the mood with like what people are gonna get out of this comic. I think they did a really fantastic job with that part. And then the information was clear. I really got a good idea of like what's going on in this comic.
The who, the what, the where, the why, and definitely, how. So I'm, yeah, totally.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see what else this thing tells us. It says, into the story, Walking Nightmare. Step into the supernatural world of Aruku Akumu, a dark fantasy comic set in feudal Japan. Follow the journey of a possessed samurai fighting to reclaim his soul while battling both external demons and his own inner torment. Inspired by black and white indie comics of the 1980s and Japanese horror films. This comic blends themes of revenge, horror, and survival. And then down here, we've got the actual breakdown of this samurai's quest for vengeance. Takes a sinister turn when he becomes possessed by an evil force. His journey takes him deep into a world filled with dark sorcery, warring clans, and demonic forces. As he's battling to regain his humanity, he must confront not only physical demons around him, but their inner darkness threatening to consume his soul. His very soul.
His very soul. Samurai.
I was reaching into my Andre the Giant right there.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know a coup would be so close to the bone on this one, but dude, totally samurai.
You know, what's interesting to me, I'd love to talk to these guys at some point, is that I know Luke Stokes, the writer. I know the artist, but this campaign is put together by a Victoria Miklasic. Forgiveness if I crushed your name there. Says co-founder and chief creative officer at the Legacy Studio. So somebody who's just purpose is to like put together this campaign. And so if they were in charge of this, they did a great job.
They did a very good, solid job.
And this might be worth having a conversation, maybe a little sideshow or something with Luke or maybe even Victoria about like what does it cost to get someone else to do your Kickstarter, and is it worth it? That's kind of the whole premise of that show there, because this was, as far as I'm aware, the first campaign that they've done, and they already have doubled their goal. And they had someone do it. So, they might have had to give them some of that goal, but certainly seems like it might have been
there's a percentage right off of the top of, funds generated. So they, guarantee that they get their funding. So I don't know. I mean, there are advantages to having a third party handle your Kickstarter. Not that the art and the story and everything else sells itself, but lending the professional touch and the eye grabbing and all of that is just as important as the substance and the meat and the potatoes. So the preparation, I mean, damn. If this person is not busy already doing campaigns for people, I think they soon will be.
Yeah. And on top of that, I was just looking through the credits. They got someone else on this book. They got Willie Schubert on lettering.
Willie? Nice.
Who, last time I checked, also lives here in Colorado.
Does.
Hubert, if you guys don't know, he has worked on Batman, Legends of the Dark Knight, Hitman. He's worked on a lot of big time books for a long time. He was lettering back when they were doing hand lettering.
Yeah.
If he's still doing it that way, my guess is no. But this guy knows his stuff, and he's a great guy. I've run into him several times at some of the conventions. So love that they got Willie Schubert working on that.
Again, if you're gonna do it right. And I mean, these guys just keep checking boxes for me because Willie's a genius. I love that man. It's just so cool. Yeah, I just put words in. That's all he does.
Yeah, just words.
Just words.
Okay, so I want to do what I said I was going to do earlier, which is look at the rewards and how they've gotten to double their goal with only like 50 something backers. So let's scroll down here. We've got a digital bundle for $5. That's a great thing to have. A deluxe digital bundle for $14. Then we've got their main book, $15. And then we have another digital bundle, like the ultimate digital bundle for $20. And a lot of these are sitting at like 1, 2, 3 backers, right? They've got some variant covers. And they got quite a few variant covers with some pretty big names. We got Alan Quah on here. So several different variant covers, but down below, I'm still going 75. There's several people at those $75 levels. We have a $125 level for all covers. And then we have a retailer bundle, which is always an interesting thing to have in your campaign. It basically, if a retailer happens to be stumbled across your campaign, they can get, multiple copies of the book at discount rates. And then, and then we have a full wraparound sketch cover by Caleb, $450. Somebody's already nabbed that one. An everything bundle for $1,000. The ultimate bundle for $1,500, and someone has grabbed that one as well. And then there's a Kickstarter exclusive bundle for $3,000. And then there is a Dream Art bundle for $6,500. And then there's a kitchen sink and a trip on a plane bundle for $10,000. I love the ambition of these rewards.
That is spectacular. I mean, you got your whales out. See the artwork generating this kind of hype and the story. This could be huge. And I love the ambition. If you don't put it out there, it may never be taken. But if you don't put it out there to begin with, you'll never know. And I think that this, again, planning your tiers and put it out there. You never know, because there are some ambitious fans out there, and you want to get everyone's attention the best you can. There's like 300 plus campaigns going on right now for comics. This screams confidence. This screams, we're going to be here for a while. Get on while you can. Opportunity is knocking. Wow.
Absolutely. I mean, it only takes one person to go, you know what? I think these guys are great. I'm all in, and I want to go sit with because the big $10,000 reward is to go with them to a convention, sit with them at the convention all weekend, expenses paid. Well, I guess you're paying for it, but that's a great addition. Plus you get all these free, sketches and sketch covers from the artists. But yeah, all it takes is like one person to go, sure, I'll do that. I'm independently wealthy. I'm going to throw some money at these guys because it's there, Yeah. Why not?
I think it's
give it
great.
a shot.
So good. I want a sketch of just the samurai sitting there. I think that iconic visual, and it is very Samurai Jack-ish, with just the samurai sitting there with the silhouette and on the mountain. I want a sketch. I want the original artwork for that, because that is beautiful. I'd hang that in my studio without a doubt, without question. Done. That thing is beautiful.
Yeah, and honestly, their campaign doesn't dive too deep. Like a lot of campaigns will go on and on and on about all the different rewards, and you just got to scroll for ages. This goes into opening up with the story. So I will say that for all 3 campaigns today, everyone did a good job not burying the lead. just right away saying, hey, this is what our story is about. Whether they had a video or not, they jumped right into it. So the word is getting out there to not bury the lead. That's a good one. But then
and that's important because how are you going to get people involved? Because the further they scroll, the less attention that they have. And if I will guarantee you, if these guys hadn't presented such a solid package, no one would go down to see how much bigger it keeps stepping. Because I'm going to guarantee you, without the right hook, no one would have gone down there to see the $10,000 purse. Because that is just, dude. If I wasn't putting a new Ecto together, I'd give them 10 grand. I'd just, all right, let's go play. This sounds like fun to me. This is great.
Right. So. Yeah, what I was saying was that like they go from their story, and then they go into, hey, this is who's on the team. We got some some little bit of not backstory, a little bit of information about the creators, why they're using Kickstarter, and then boom, they're done. There's not this like ongoing list. I do feel like they could have had a little bit more. Like I would have loved to have seen some of these pages more. They have some very small images here, and there is a link that says, where was it? I know it's here somewhere. Oh yeah, download your free preview today. We're giving a free preview by going to the website, and you can look at some of the pages in that way. But there's no real like close-up shots of the pages here on the campaign. And there's also not any real close-up shots of those alternate covers.
No,
they're there really small, but there's not like a nice good close-up of them. So I think they could have benefit from a little bit of that, because all in all, from top to bottom, the whole thing's only maybe like 2 web pages long, which is I like it when they're not like 25 pages long like some people, but
well, yeah, and you keep scrolling and you keep scrolling, and by the time you're done, you're like, you can talk yourself out of a sale as easily as you can talk yourself into one. They capped it, they kept it short. And this is something that you and I haven't discussed. I am still of the mindset of 2 pages max. If you can't get it all across in 1 page, fine. 2 pages is fine, is okay, but after 2 pages, unless you're like really expanding on your stretch goals and things of that, you're losing valuable traction, and you can lose a backer. Just saying.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think it's tough because like when we go back to, I'm going to share this other tab real fast from the very first one we looked at. Like father, like daughter. Okay, so this is that campaign. Let me go and share that. All right, so this one here has these great big looks at the pages, these big scrolls. So they're taking up like 1 page is essentially considered like 1 web page, 1 scroll down.
Yep.
So that's taken up, some space, but it's also showing us what it's going to look like visually. I know what I'm going to be getting with this book. Whereas with the, and I'm reaching to find something that Aruku Akumu could improve upon at this point. But like, I would have liked to have seen some bigger pages like this to see really like what these pages are looking like without having to go type in their website and go to their website, Right. But here we get like, this is what, the rewards look like, and this one is one of those ones that goes on and on and on for way too long. But I think grabbing a couple of these things could benefit. Like, I don't think we need to have all this, here, but some of that stuff,
Well, at least it's at the bottom, and you didn't start with that because, and we've discussed this in the previous episodes. We don't need to know the creative team out of the gate. We need to know what we're getting into and what the story is. So having the creatives down at the bottom, all of those pages could have been an opening slide and given some, dramatic voiceover that explains the character's feels, and just kind of giving that quick splash. You could probably do a quick slideshow and a voiceover for 30 seconds in a minute and eliminate an entire page, and then roll right into your pitch and then start your stretches.
Yeah, I mean, and here's another interesting thing. Like I said, the previous campaign that we just looked at, like Father Like Daughter, they have they're at $6,390, so a little bit more than Aruku Akumu, but they have 227 backers. So that means that their average is around, like maybe $30. But then you go over to Aruku and they've raised $5,000, but one of those is a $1,500 backer. A couple of those are like $150 backers. So the question is having all those extra images and tiers and let us know like what I'm actually getting for my money, bringing in a few more backers, or is it just that they already had a following and that's what's bringing it? But bottom line is, and I've said this, for a long time, and I'll say it again, unless you're making a adult themed, cheesecake style comic, because they're the exception to this rule on Kickstarter. But unless you're doing that, this is not Field of Dreams, right? You have to have a following first and bring it to Kickstarter. If you do everything right and you make, a good hook and you have all the things laid out on your campaign just beautifully, you're going to get some people on Kickstarter stumble across it, like your thumbnail, check it out. But you're going to not get into the hundreds of backers range without bringing backers in. And so if you're going to make a Kickstarter campaign, you got to spend some time on social media, in the groups, and where your following is at. Like, what kind of stuff do they like? Are you making a horror comic? Well, then go hang out in the horror groups and talk about what's going on and become, a face in there that they recognize. Then you'll have backers, right? But now we're to the point of the campaign or the show that we need to decide on who is going to be the winner of this week's show.
I mean, both are obviously, and I like this because this almost comes down to the battle of the fans. Because Aruku obviously has gone out, they've done the questing. Like Father Like Daughter obviously has a fan base based on its previous products, and it's kind of a rollover from both of those fan sets. But getting the new readers and getting all that, you still need to get out there. You still need to work the shops, the cons, and all of that. And I think Father Like Daughter is missing an opportunity that we pointed out at the beginning. Look what just one big backer did for Aruku that Father Like Daughter could take the benefit of if they had just one big whale level tier. And the uniqueness of it, it's only one. So one guy's like, well, excuse my French, fuck, I'm jumping on that one before it goes away.
Right. All right.
Just saying.
So, before we make our choice, leave your choice down in the comments below. Also, before we make our choice, be sure and like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. That helps us get support. This show isn't free. We have to pay for streaming services, all the stuff that we got to pay for to make this show happen, just so that we can help you guys. Plus, we support our campaign every single week, so there's also that.
We do. So if you're a local business or you are interested in the world of comics, we are looking for an official sponsor. So you could be at the beginning and the end of this show that is viewed everywhere. We are on YouTube. We are on 5280 Geek. We are on the Mythica channel. We are on both of our personal pages. So there is a lot of people that you could reach. If you are the right vendor or sponsor, we would love to have a conversation and let you be part of comic book greatness. Us.
That's right. And don't forget, we did have a winner last week, but you can get this book hardback at actionlinestudios.com, as well as this Mythica shirt, the Mythica hoodie that we've talked about before, all kinds of stuff. And you can do shopping as well at 5280geek.com, I believe. So you can get stuff there. Any of those things go towards helping support this show. But as well, if you are a comic creator and you want to learn about making comics more, you can become a member of Patreon at patreon.com/Actionline Studios. There's also a tier specifically for this show that I've just created. And with that, you not only get a direct link to the video, so you don't have to go find it on social media. It's going to come right to your email each week. But also, each week we're going to upload a indie comic, one of the indie comics that I've supported and downloaded. You're going to get that. It could be one of mine. It could be one of the others that we've backed. And so you're going to get a free indie comic to check out each week, so we can spread the love of indie comics. So that's what you get for your $5 a month tier. And then as we grow, there's other benefits that we want to do, like, having a pre-show, joining us on our pre-show as we talk all the smack before the show. That's another possible tier. So, or possible reward for that tier. So be sure and check it out.
And my voice is always available. I would even, if you hit the right tier with us, I would even voice your video.
Yeah,
professional voice offer on us.
If you kick him hard enough in the nuts, he'll sound like an anime character too.
Oh, here I am, Goofy, and I'm gonna take you to the woodshed, and I'm gonna whoop that ass.
What just happened?
I don't know. I'm out of coffee. Damn it!
I'm out of coffee,
drank a pot. Come here, you little bastard! I want to kick you. Never mind. Sorry. I'm gonna go dark in that one.
All right, leave your choice for which comic you think deserves to be back this week in the comments below. For right now, it is time for us to make our choice. Are you ready, sir?
I am.
All right, let's do it.
Wrong. Little premature applauding there.
Hey! All right, we both got the same one. I think that was. I mean,
it's a tough one between like Father Like Daughter and Akuma. I really wrestled with that one, and at the end of it, I honestly think it's the video and those stretch goals. Those stretch goals are just ambitious, and I love the enthusiasm. I love the energy, and I want the original page of that samurai on the. Oh my God, that is just gorgeous.
Well, you should go check out the tiers then, because that just might be one of the rewards, right?
It could be.
All right,
totally in on that.
Wow, yeah, that was a fun show. Thank you guys all for submitting. Remember, each week we do this show. Each week you can submit your campaigns by going to the Facebook Action Line Studios page, facebook.com/Action Line Studios, I believe is the way they do it. And then you can enter your campaign, as long as it's live, to be on this show, get some feedback, and maybe even get our support, because we support one each and every week. So that's it for this week. Thank you all for joining us. With that, Smurf, what do you have to say?
In the meantime, run fast, laugh hard, and always be kind. Good night.